Minutes late. Hopefully you can hear me okay. The one person that's joined. Thank you so much for joining. God, I'm really excited about this. So I'm on top of a cliff right now. And we are going to talk about centering and whatnot. But first of all, thank you so much for joining. God, I wish I could see who that is. Sweet. Now we got a couple people. Awesome. Okay, you guys. First of all, thank you so much for joining. Now I wish I could see who that is. This is so bizarre. I can like hear myself. All right, it took me a while to get this pottery wheel up here on the cliff, but we made it. Now we're gonna get right to it because we don't have much time and the sun is going down and I still need to do a couple other sheets. Feel free to comment who's here. All right, first off, I'm just gonna do a quick introduction of who I am. I don't know who's here, so if you know me, great. If not, my name's Tyler, and pottery changed my life so much that I wanted to share it with everyone else. I don't know who's here. Too much playback. Hope you can still hear me. Basically, it all started when I was a senior in high school, and I didn't feel like I had a lot of self-love. I was going through a really hard time, just like most kids. So naturally, they put me in art class because I need to graduate and need an art credit, and then just fell in love with it. And so fast forward, started a studio called the Creative Kiln, and we opened one up in Pleasant Grove, and now we have one in Provo as well. And fast forward again, we just started this YouTube channel where we basically take my pottery wheel to the craziest places that I can think of, at least near me. So you can see I am literally on top of a cliff, which is pretty neat. You'll see this video soon with the drone. But I figured what better place than to do my first live video. We're going to be doing these every Thursday at 7 o'clock, unless advised otherwise. So that's kind of my story. You know, there's a lot far in between there, but let's get right down to it. So, because we don't have much time, we've got about 24 minutes. So if you're at home and you're struggling to center, this video is going to be great for you. And I have some good news too. If you don't, if you need a little extra help, I'm going to be doing some online courses. You can find all that information in the description of this video, along with our new website called adrenalineartstudios. We don't have a domain yet because it's so new. So you'll have to click on the link or else it'd be hard to find, but I'm going to have some online courses. All right, so have you ever had a hard time centering? Okay, whether the clay is hard to stick to the wheel or it just keeps throwing you around, all that stuff. Because I think if you've ever tried pottery before, you've definitely struggled with centering. At least I struggled a lot when I first started. So one of the first things that I like to tell people is it all starts from the beginning. I'm going to go through this pretty quick. In my online courses, I'll be going through this step by step, giving a lot of different angles. But for today, I'm going to show you real quick on this small piece. And then I'm going to show you again, because repetition is good. It helps you remember, doing it with a big piece so you can kind of see what's going on with my hands. So just like I was taught, I really like to knead the clay like this. There's a few different ways to do this. Either way works. It's just whatever you're most comfortable with, but this way is really good for beginners. So if you're struggling to knead the clay, which brings me to my point about centering, it all starts from the beginning. So when you cut the clay, put it into a little ball like this. Do not like cut it multiple ways, slap it on each other. You're just putting more air into it, okay? It comes all nice and neat from the back. So get a good clean cut, maybe a decent size. Don't go too thin or else you're gonna have to fold it. So anyways, it all starts from the beginning. So if you can knead your clay well, centering is gonna be like so easy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your little mound of clay, put it on your wheel or your kneading table. You could do it wherever really, as long as it's flat. And you're gonna hold it kind of like a controller. Hold your hands, cup them on the sides like this. And what you're gonna do is just push down on top of the clay and then push forward. And then you're gonna lift up and then you're gonna push down, forward. And just keep repeating that. Now, to get good at kneading clay, it honestly just takes a lot of practice, okay? So, and you'll get to the point where it just becomes natural like this. So remember, push down and forward. Now, once you start getting a little tongue like this, you can start to see the layers of clay down right here. We want this to be a nice, smooth little ring. So push down, forward, down, forward, down, forward. Bring it up on the tongue, push down, forward. And you'll get to the point, if you practice this enough, your body will be able to do this super quick. And then before you know it, your clay, it's going to start looking smooth and become like one mound right here. But you still have this tail end here. Now this is where tons of people can go wrong. So what I'm going to do is show you how to avoid going wrong. So you have this tail right here, okay? Now the key to get rid of that and make this, what you want to do is make this just one mound of clay that's perfectly kind of like swirled into itself. So it's just like a solid, consistent piece. So what you're going to do is keep doing that. Push down, and forward. And then you're going to get to this point where you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to start raveling it in. What you're going to do is do less pressure and then kind of roll your hands towards yourself. So you're still going to push down and forward, but you're going to do a little less pressure. And then you're going to roll it into itself until it kind of sticks. And then look, you've got this mound of clay. Now this clay has a little bit more grog than like a porcelain clay, so you're gonna maybe, like it's already kind of drying out a little faster than normal. But if you start with kneading the clay, the next step to centering, get your pottery wheel a little wet. Now, some people say no water, some people say a lot of water. If you put too much water, your clay's not gonna stick and it's just gonna slide right off. If you don't put any water, it might not stick unless you hit it really hard on the wheel. So what I like to do is take my sponge, empty all the water out of the sponge in your bucket. So then just take this kind of moist sponge, start from the middle and then just go out and then let the wheel spin for a sec. This is perfect. Now what you're gonna do, take a few practice swings, but ultimately, when you go to slam it on the wheel, you just have to commit. Now, has this ever happened to you? I know most of you out there, it's happened to you. So basically what you want to do is push down and then slide. Okay. What that does is it gets the clay in the middle. Now don't slide it too fast or else it'll fall off. Now if you slam it in the middle and it doesn't go anywhere, or if it goes right in the center, then you're golden. You don't have to worry about that step. But if you don't hit in the center, not a lot of people know this, but you can push down and kind of put it inside the middle ring, okay? So that's pretty much in the center. Now, I wish someone would have taught me this so I could understand what centering really is. Because really, All you're trying to do is just make the clay go in the middle, obviously, and be consistent throughout the whole mound. Well, to get there, when I was taught, it's just like, okay, just go for it. You got to feel it out. That's really hard to do, especially when I'm kind of like a visual person. I like to learn by visuals. So I wish someone would have taught me this. Basically, the trick to centering is you got to understand this. When you push down and into the clay like this, where does the clay go? It goes up, okay? Now when you push on top, where does it go? It goes obviously down, but then out. So to center clay and make it go in one place, consistent, you do both of those at the same time, which kind of makes sense, but there's an art to it. All right. First thing you're going to want to do, maybe take your finger and you can seal the bottom. I didn't really do this much in high school, but sometimes what I like to do, especially with my bigger pieces, is I'll come in with my left pinky here and then just kind of build the base there, and then grab a sponge and then carve that at the bottom. Gets it all basically centered down here. Because the worst thing you could do is have the base off-centered, and then, as most of you know, when you bring your hands in and up to begin coning or centering, the top's going to become center, but the bottom, the worst thing is to have that thing completely off. So if you can get the bottom nice and smooth and on center first, that helps. Now, some people just go straight into it, and you can do that, but chances are your mound of clay is not going to be very consistent. All right. So what I like to do, especially if you start throwing big, like you want to throw bigger pieces, you have to cone. So what you're going to do, or else you're going to wear yourself out. My good friend, Eric Landon, it's also named, goes by his Instagram account, Tortoise. Set yourself up higher than the wheel. And what you're going to do is clench the wheel with your legs, elbows down. And to cone, you're going to push in and up. Get it wet. Look, I've got my pinky down here, so I can guide the bottom. I'm going to push in and up. What's nice about this piece of clay is I can feel the very bottom is totally on center, which is super nice. Now, once you have it up here, you're going to go back down. So again, when we push from the side, the clay goes up, just like how we did with the cone. Push on the top, it goes down. Now, I wish I would have understood this. When you have your hand on the outside and your hand on the inside, the reason why the clay gets centered is because the clay has nowhere else to go. Because when you're pushing down, it wants to go down and out, but your hand's on the side to stop it from going out, so it just goes right in the middle. Anyways, I'm sure most of you get that, like right off the bat. I didn't. So basically, you just slowly push down. Now, I'm going to do another one because you can see there's some kind of like thing in the middle here. So I like to do this a couple times where you go up and down. This can be like super therapeutic. So don't be afraid if you got to go kind of like up and down. All right, so we got 3 minutes till I'm going to show you how to do the bigger piece. Now, once you go down, come down to like right about there. You don't want to make a pancake unless you're making a big plate. The key to not getting a mushroom is having your hand angled like this. All right? If you hold it on here, the clay is going to go down your hand this way. If you hold it in here, it's going to cut in, and look, starts to get a mushroom. You can get air bubbles in here. It's just bad news. So if you can, this is my little secret, put it on the side here, fist on here, and watch what happens when I push with my left hand. This one. Watch what happens. Get this nice, beautiful, like mound looking thing. That's what you want. That's a good base. Because think about it. If you're going to build a cylinder, which is like a tower, do you want it to be like skinny at the bottom and then go like fat on the upside, it's going to be way teeter-tottery. It's not going to be very stable. So have a nice foundation. All right, that's the word I was looking for. Okay, 2 minutes. This is centered clay. We did it. So what I'm going to do, since I don't waste this amount of clay, is in the next 2 minutes, I'm just going to make a quick base. If you stay tuned, you know, next week, we'll go over the next steps of getting your clay ready to build a cylinder and then building a cylinder. Just going to make this real quick. We don't waste this clay. And then I'm going to hide it out here. Maybe even put some money in it because I brought some money with me. Which, that's pretty cool. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? Good spot. I know, isn't it sweet? Fun. How's your ride been? Oh, I went over to Red Cliffs and did the loop that goes through the creek and came back. Oh. I seen a nice turtle. You did? Right in the middle of the road. Just as I left the turtle area, about 6 girls came through there, and so I showed them. That's what the turtle I seen this year. No kidding. I've only seen some in the ponds and stuff. I usually always see them over to Chuckawalla, Paradise Canyon. I see them quite regularly over there. Jeez, you could probably go pretty far with that bike. You know what? I got bad knees, and I had a stroke, and I had my hand operated on, and I totally quit riding. Totally quit. This kind of brings me back. You know? Did you ever do like motocross or anything, or just? Life. Me too. That's cool. As a matter of fact, I built every motocross track in southern Utah from 1975 all the way to 2005. No way. We put on races here forever and ever and ever. So did you work on the SGMX one? No, that was Judd's. That was the last one built. Yeah. I was bummed when they closed it down. No, I had the big motocross track for years and years and years where the airport sits. Okay, like the new one? The new airport is. Well, go. What's your name? Kent Larson. Kent Larson? It's nice to meet you. Judd's my good friend. Yeah. So, did you grow up here then, or did you ever run across the JD Nyland? Who? JD Nyland. Long shot. I'm 66, man. I hope I'm doing what you're doing. I'm 66. So you're Kent then, Kent Larson. Hey Goose. What's up? 66, and this guy is riding around. What? That is awesome. Oh, gotcha. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hello? Yeah. I'm on my bicycle out at church run. My new friend. Oh, okay. Well, and there you go. Oh. Centering is key to making sure the rest of your pot looks nice. All right, well, for some reason, I don't know where my wire tool went, so I'm just going to cut this off with my knife, which maybe some of you didn't know you could do. That's what it was. Huh? Yeah, I'm just on my way back. I parked at the Maverick and rode over that there. And did that loop around. I had some money in that up here, so if you want to come looking for it. Okay. The last 8 minutes. Hey, Nasira Amar. Dude, Victor, yeah. Could you explain what not to do for a beginner and why? Shout out to Victor. Thanks for joining, man. Okay, Stacy Potter. You have an awesome last name. So I'm just doing a live video here, but Kent, dude, it's so nice to meet you. Yeah, you're making some cool stuff. I'm about to do this bigger one.
You picked a good ball. You got the backpack?
Yeah, my buddy, well, my brother-in-law, he's actually flying a drone around here.
Gotcha.
Nice.
You guys come through the tunnel?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but I ride down from the
Don't
top.
back anything out of here and go through the tunnel right now.
No, you're good. Thank you so. We have a cart. Yeah, you're good. Can't you rock, man? Hey, I'll make sure. I'm Tyler, by the way.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, be careful out there. See ya. All right. Yeah, Stacey Potter, you've got a big name to live up to. So, could you explain what not to do for a beginner? Okay, one of the first things when you cut the clay, do not like cut it super thin. You want just like a nice block right from the brick. Do not let your elbows leave your legs as a beginner. You just can't, okay? I think what not to do as a beginner is get frustrated with yourself too. I can't tell you. Yes, Victor, I totally remember you, man. You were in the military, right? And I think you had a little brother that we were teaching. I served a mission in Spain, by the way, guys, so that's how I know Victor. I cannot believe you're tuning in. That's so cool. Okay, back to Stacey Potter. So really, what not to do. Be very, that's such a cool bird. Be very patient with yourself. Like, when I was first starting out, like, centering was the hardest thing mentally to grab, but eventually you get it. You just got to keep practicing. We would do pottery till like 9 o'clock at night or midnight. So definitely don't get frustrated with yourself, because then you just won't want to keep doing it. Funny enough, my mother-in-law, I set her up with a little pottery wheel and kind of got her going, and she's taking a break right now from pottery because all of her pieces started to crack. And you know, one thing that we try to do that maybe we don't do the best all the time in our studios when we teach people is we tell them, like, be patient with yourself because pottery is freaking hard. And if we don't tell people that and they have a hard time and they, you know, expect to come in and make a beautiful vase the first time, like, it's damaging to your confidence. It's very humbling, which is good though. That's why I like pottery, because it does keep you humble. But and don't feel like you have to figure it out on your own, Stacey. So when you're learning, like, I love watching people's videos and seeing the techniques and forms that they do. It's so valuable to get like help from people who have a lot of experience. It'll really speed up your process. So I'm glad you joined today. What else? What not to do? Well, one thing, it's better to go slow than fast. Keeping it, it keeps the clay from pushing. Yeah, Stacey. So essentially, I'll actually show you. So here's this big mound of clay. Now look, I'm doing the same technique. This is kind of like, they call it the hedge, or, you know, I call it the technique that you can make a cute little monkey face. That's a pretty weird looking monkey face, but basically, there's another way where you can spiral, do a spiral kneading process, but this is the easiest for beginners, is what I found. And again, not to just, like, I'm not boasting or anything, but I've taught thousands of people through the last 5 years of when I was starting my business, The Creative Kiln. I was teaching people till like 11 o'clock at night when I was doing my undergrad. So I've seen what works and what doesn't, especially when you try and kickstart like a beginner. You know, they come one night. So I'm going to give you, through these live sessions, I'll answer your questions and stuff, but in my online courses, I'm going to help you advance way quicker, because there's things like, when you're starting to pull as a beginner, I don't want you pushing with your inside hand right away. Practice with your outside hand and get it steady before use your inside hand as well, so that you can avoid pinching it and then getting discouraged when it falls. Just kind of little things like that. Kind of work yourself up to bigger clay. I'm going to teach you guys how to throw big. But Stacy, real quick, there's a lot more clay. It takes a lot more strength unless you use your body to knead it, which, because of time right now, because we're almost out of time, I'm just going to do this quick. See how this is, this tongue here? I'm going to ravel it into this mound of clay. Now, this would be extremely hard to center if I didn't do it this way. It all starts with the prep. Okay. Got this cute mound of clay, right? So, get all the water out of your sponge. It's a nice little recap. That wet. Now, it's a little off center, so what do? You don't have to tear it off and try again, because that's just going to make your clay smash down, which sucks. It makes it really hard to get it back in the middle. So what you're going to do is find the part that's kind of outside of the ring, which is this side, push down and kind of turn it and get it nice in the middle as much as you can. See, now that most of the mound's in the middle. All right, Stacy, so keep your elbows on your legs. Watch what I do. Now I'm going to be a little exaggerating on this, but basically, look at my arms. The more clay you have, the more difficult it is. Now, the more advanced you get, you're going to be in these weird positions, so you're going to learn how to tighten your back muscles. And essentially, like, I could get pretty close to centering this clay without touching my elbows to my legs. But the best way, see, only the top centered, all this needs to be centered. Plant those elbows down, okay? Now, if you're right-handed, your wheel's going to be spinning counterclockwise. If you're left-handed, it's going to be the opposite way, clockwise. If you're right-handed, you're going to put your left hand, keep it on your leg, and you can use it to kind of push into the clay with your leg. See that? Now the bottom's getting centered. And as you cone up, your right hand's just going to kind of follow. And your right hand can come up if you tuck this shoulder back. Oh, that's why they're concentric circles. Yes, there are these circles ingrained into the wheel to help you make sure it's in the middle. Now, the more and more you get it, though, it's going to be perfect. You're going to be able to hit it in the middle because of your practice without even having to kind of like recenter it and stuff. So yeah, Stacy, does that help? Keeping those elbows down. Like, watch, when I push in and up, I've got my elbows down. You're just anchored. And so you can slowly move the clay through your hands. Like that. Now again, you guys, I'm going to be doing this every Thursday at 7 o'clock. Some of these I'm going to do a little longer, but because I'm out here and the sun's going down over this hill, I still need to make a big pot. And I was going to tell you, so the little pot that I just made, I'm going to put some money in it and hide it out here. We've got about 20 other little pots like this that I made over at Dixie Rock down here in St. George that we're going to do a scavenger hunt with. Some pots are going to have like 50 bucks in them. Some pots are going to have 10, 5, and some pennies. Okay, so we're going to be announcing when we're going to do that. It's going to be in the next week or two. We just haven't quite decided, but stay tuned. I know I'm from up north. Our studios are up north, but when you come down here, we've got a lot of fun stuff that we're doing. And we'll do some scavenger hunts up north too. Okay, so I'm going to center this. I've been going up and down. At this point, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. As you know, I'm going to be, you can find the link to our website, Adrenaline Art Studios, in the description of this video. I'll be sharing tips and tricks, and we'll have online courses available too that go a lot more in depth. That'll help you guys who are at home learn how to do pottery from me, who's been doing it about 10 years, and not only just by myself, but spent the first 2 years of the creative kiln. It's been open for over 5 years. Spent the first 2 years teaching people every day. I've also taken a course from my good friend Eric Landon, who is a phenomenal teacher of teaching how to precision throw. I took a class in Dubai of his and learned a lot of good stuff. I'm more than happy to share. But yeah, Stacy, I'm glad that could help. If you guys ever have any specific questions too, if things you want me to talk about, feel free to reach out to adrenalineartstudios at gmail.com, or message us on Instagram or here, YouTube. Please, if you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe, like it. I'd really appreciate it. We want to help people access the therapeutic feeling of pottery. Look at this. I didn't even go over some of this stuff. I can't wait to show you guys how to throw big. We do these scavenger hunts with the clay, with the pottery, you know, putting money in them, hiding them to get people outside and have good mental health. Because generally, most people are a lot happier when they're outside, connecting with the earth, having fun. So there you go. There's my quick little masterclass on tips on how to center. Again, please share this with anyone that you know they're struggling with centering or they could use help, or they just got a new studio. More than happy to help anyone out. I've done online FaceTime lessons, and you know, I don't want you to get frustrated to the point where you give up, because it's hard. It's really hard. Oh, one last thing too. So in the description, there's a section called "Couldn't Do Without" section, where I list all of the links to. I have like an affiliate or affiliate link thing with Amazon, where I put all the stuff that comes in really good hand. Like, it's really handy. So in that section, you'll see where you can get the same pottery wheel that I have, which is a Speedball Clay Boss, the half horsepower one. I can literally throw huge amounts of clay on it. It's all you need. Where I get the tool, what kind of tools. If you want to do pottery outside and need a power source, there's this battery that is on there as well. The link's in there. And I'm so impressed with it, because we were hoping we'd get like an hour out of it, you know, out here. But we have like, I don't know, maybe 8 hours. I could be just throwing constantly. So it's perfect for us to do multiple shoots. But yeah, if you're looking to do pottery out in the wild and don't want to haul a huge generator and hear it, you know, loud, I'll even show you real quick. It's this little guy right down there. So links in the description for that. Also, the drone that we use, I wouldn't recommend the DJI Mini 3. It doesn't have as many sensors. You could crash it and that'd be a bummer. So definitely recommend the Mini 4 if you're wanting to do cool like drone shots. Trying to think what else was in there. There's the tools, the drone, pottery wheel, some walkie-talkie. This is a walkie-talkie, so I can talk to Mark when we're up here, because I'm like all over the place when I'm bringing the pottery wheel at these places. But yeah, thank you so much for those that tuned in. Stacy, great questions. Feel free to reach out to us. I'm gonna head out so I can finish building this and doing our last shoot before the sun goes down. It's so pretty though. I gotta show you guys. Look at that. I'd have a lot more time if it wasn't going over that mountain, but we got to do this quick. So thanks for tuning in. And yeah, if you know anyone that needs help pottery, Tune in next week, Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Be here or somewhere else. Hey, thanks, guys. Oh, please subscribe. It would help me out so much. Love you guys.